I know this video might be seen as being somewhat controversial, even antisocial or rude, but there's a reason that when someone reaches out to me and says, hey, let's grab coffee, my answer is always no. I know how it is. You get a message or an email or a text from someone you don't know. Maybe they're introduced by somebody you do know. And the request is something like, hey, let's grab coffee or get together or spend some time together. And my answer today is always no, but it wasn't always like that. When I was younger and I first got into business, I actually saw it as productive that I was going out to coffee with people and spending time with people. In fact, I read more than one book that said you should always be having breakfast with one person, lunch with another, coffee with a different person, and building your network. So I did a lot of that activity. But here's what happened. When I was meeting with people without direction, when I was taking coffee with just about anyone, what I spent a lot of time doing was drinking coffee, talking, but not creating my momentum in my business. And there wasn't really a lot of forward progress and momentum from meeting with people. It felt good. It felt like activity. I could check a box off on my schedule and I felt like I was doing things. But when I looked at the result of all of those coffee meetings, there was very little there. Here's how this relates to what I do. I help entrepreneurs create a clear strategic plan so that we know exactly where we're going. And when we have a clear strategic plan, here's what happens. If the strategic plan is written in the right way, and we know that it goes from our client-centric mission, where we want to end up, all the way back to what we do on a daily basis, that means we know exactly what we're doing every day is creating the ultimate productivity and momentum for our business. So when somebody calls me for coffee, it's just a distraction. See, I've already created my strategy. I know my plan, I know where I'm going, and I know what I need to execute to make things happen the way that I want to make them happen. And when I get asked for coffee, what the person on the other side is doing is trying to get lucky. When it comes to business, I don't want to get lucky. I want to have a plan. I want to have a strategy. I want to have consistency. I want my results to be predetermined, and I want to know where my numbers are coming from. Now, I know the fear when somebody asks you to coffee. You have this fear of missing out, like maybe this will be the connection, the contact that you need. Maybe something massive will come out of this. And in all honesty, sure, when I was going to coffee with dozens of people every month, there was an opportunity here and there. But when I took all of that time back and I started creating a strategy and looking at exactly what I needed next, and I got clear on what was missing in my business, and I started filling in those gaps, the momentum I had compared to going to coffee and building my network and all of those other activities was incredible. It was night and day. When I got clear on what I needed to do, it was very hard for anyone to distract me from my outcome. So if you're getting asked to coffee and you're compelled to go, you feel like you're missing out, maybe you're not clear enough on what you really should be doing. See, when you allow yourself to accept a coffee date, unless it's something you really enjoy, unless it's something you love, if you really love going out for small talk and meeting someone and building your network, then it's maybe something that is part of self-care for you. But for me and for most of the entrepreneurs I work with, every day is an opportunity to create momentum in our business, create progress, make things happen, and move forward. See, here's the epiphany I came to. When I stopped going to coffee, I started feeling like I was missing out. But within a few months, I could see that my strategic plan was so clear and that my progress was so there that going to coffee had been a massive distraction and it was holding me back. I don't want you to be held back. So here's what you need to know. 1, your strategic plan will create momentum, not consistently going out and meeting for coffee and seeing people outside of the office. 2, time is your most valuable asset. When someone else asks you to coffee, normally what they're trying to do is get information out of you, pick your brain for the time that you're drinking coffee for the price of a cup of coffee. That's just not worth it in 99% of cases. And 3, when you create conscious connections rather than just whatever comes along, and you look at what you need next, and you're intentional with who you connect with and why you're going to coffee and who you're spending time with, your momentum will be assured, and you will no longer be looking at random connections as a way to get lucky and create momentum in your business, because it might work every once in a while, but I want your strategic plan, your time, your effort, your energy to work every time, not every once in a while. And here's one of the biggest challenges with going to coffee. See, when we spend time and energy and go somewhere and commit the time that we need to spend the time with the person, to drink the coffee, to have the conversation, it can actually feel productive. It can feel like we're accomplishing something. It can feel like momentum, but it's fake. See, if we're not actually making something happen, if we're not actually creating outcomes, if we're not doing what we need to do next in order to move forward, that momentum will just be felt, but it won't be real, and eventually you'll realize you've been spinning your wheels and creating very little progress. So I have a strategy for you. The next time someone asks you to coffee, reply the way that I do every time. I really appreciate the invitation, but my team and I are working on a number of initiatives right now, and I'd love to understand exactly what you'd like to discuss, so I now know how to prioritize coffee with you above what we're trying to do. Most of the time, I don't get a reply back. And there's a reason, because the person on the other side really doesn't have a reason or a priority. They're just out there building their network, having coffee, and in my opinion, not creating any momentum. Don't be one of them. When somebody asks you to coffee, politely decline, or have them tell you exactly why you're going to be there. Either way, you're probably gonna get out of it, be able to focus on your business, and create the momentum you really know you should. Do me a favor, I appreciate you spending this time with me here. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. Let me know you're getting out of the coffee club permanently.